Ask the coach. Ask the coach, Donecia.
That was good.
That was good.
I like it.
So today we got a very special guest with us.
A very special guest.
Thank you. Can you help me say it one more time? A very special guest. Actually, she's going to be part of our segment from California, and we have some questions today that we're going to be asking Donecia, and she's going to give us some answers. So we're excited that, Donecia, you are with us. Make some noise.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
To be here.
Yes.
Yes.
So Donecia is a really, really good friend of mine, long time friend, and I can just attest that Donecia, she is, when it comes to relationships and just figuring out life and stuff, she is great. That's why we're calling this segment Ask the Coach, because she's a real coach. She's just not like a bootleg ghetto giving her what she thinks. She is a real coach, and so we got some pressing questions that we want to have answered today. Hey, if you have a question that you want to ask the coach, please hit us up, and then we'll give you more information about that at the end of the show. So, Roxanne, I'm going to ask Donecia the first question. I just started dating a guy, and I found out he's married, but separated, and plans to get a divorce soon. Should I continue to see him?
Yeah, he's a good guy, but he's married, and he has plans somewhere in the not too distant future to divorce his wife.
Yeah.
Right? What should you do? Should you stay? Should you go? I say, pack your bags and run.
Pack them up. Pack them up and run.
Pack your bags and run. No, in all sincerity, if he is in a relationship, how can he focus completely on you if he hasn't dissolved the one he's currently in? In a relationship, especially with male and female relationships, you want to be sure that your significant other gives you that attention and time that you need, value, and or deserve, and vice versa. If he or she cannot commit to that time because he or she is distracted, then it would be in your best interest not to waste your time.
Wow. So what if the girl is all like, but he said he was gonna not believe him, and you're saying,
Not at all.
You know, he says a lot of things. He says, I'll wash the dishes. But when does he get to it? Well, he says, oh, I meant to put gas in your car, but he didn't do it. There's a lot of things that we have well intentions.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure he does have well intentions maybe to dissolve the marriage, and it might be complicated, which is true.
Yeah.
You know, relationships can be complicated, but at the end of the day, you are sacrificing valuable time and possible future endeavors and plans. I mean, if you're waiting to have kids because you want to be married, all this complicates the situation.
Wow.
So if he has been saying, I plan to, but no definitive date, or, you know, there's no clarity around it, why are you staying? You have to ask yourself, why am I here?
Wow. Okay, wait. I heard a loophole here. So a definitive date is so what if he does have a definitive date? And let's say he's like he's moved out already and has his own place, but just separated.
Right.
And he has a date. So how would that be a better situation?
You know, again, the individual, the young lady involved will have to ask herself, what do I value? What's most valuable for me in this relationship? Is it sharing him? Is it having him completely to myself? Where are her values? Where's her worth? Does she understand and know her worth in the relationship? And so even if he is separated, he's not divorced, which means the door has not been closed, which means he has the potential to go back once he can.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my. Okay. All right. Okay.
Number 2, my spouse seems to have a problem conforming to my family's holiday traditions and says he'd rather we create our own traditions. How do I manage building a family of my own and keeping my side of the family happy?
That's a good question.
That's a very common question in relationships because you have two individual people trying to come together as one. And while we each have our own ideas and values based on our origin of upbringing, they seem to spill into the presence of this new union, this new life that you formed together. So in an attempt to create that and not replicate where you came from, you might want to focus on what's most valuable for us. Maybe you can bring elements and pieces from each of your background to create something new for your own household. Hold on to what is good, but get rid of what is bad, or maybe what is maybe distraction. Maybe you're doing it because it's a tradition, but it has no value in your present relationship.
It's good. Oh,
Okay, here's another question. Is it taboo to date a coworker if both of you are single? Roxanne says, listening for a friend.
It depends, again, on the work environment, the workplace rules. Does the company have rules that may impact the working relationship and for you to be able to perform and do your job well? Those are some things that would come to mind first before I would say, is it taboo? Is it taboo? No, you can definitely date a coworker. If that person is your superior, then that might complicate things even more.
Wow. Okay.
I would definitely not encourage that, as in you have some other issues that come into play, right? So again, I would find out from HR, what are their policies, and rules about, dating your coworker. If there's no precedence and there's no rules in place, then the door is open. Just be mindful that if you work side by side in an environment, your boss may look at you all sideways if your performance drops, because at the end of the day, you need your job to pay your bills.
Okay.
And you don't want anything to jeopardize that.
It's good. That is
some other things to keep in mind. Yeah, some other things to keep in mind too when you're dating coworkers is that, we're all self-driven. We have these goals and ambitions, and how would it impact the relationship if you're dating each other and your peers, meaning you're working on the same playing field at the time, but one of you begins to elevate in your career? How is that going to create, icky vibes, if you will, in your relationship? How would you manage that? So those are all the things that go through your mind before you say yes to try it out. But is it against the rules to try it out? Against the law? No. Go for it.
Oh,
That's good.
That's good stuff to think about.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you can date the guy if you want to? Is that what I'm hearing?
But I like her. It keeps us out of trouble because we're
That's
checking
right.
HR.
That's right.
And, you have to consider that you may not be in the same position the entire time you're dating.
Yeah.
Because that could be an issue.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff to think
It
about.
is. Oh, wow. Cool. Now, a delicious word. Let's chew.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Roxanne, and today we're making a sweet pepper kale with egg on top. Now I like this dish because I can eat it in the morning or at night for dinner, and it's not too heavy, and it also packs enough nutrients so when I eat it I don't feel hungry afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a bag of sweet peppers. We're going to cut that up into little slices and add it to a large pot with butter. On medium-high heat, we'll saute these sweet peppers, adding salt and pepper to them to pretty much season them as if we were going to eat them by themselves. And then once they're soft, we're going to add a bag of kale. As we add the bag of kale, we're going to stir as we go along so that the kale wilts as you're adding it in, so it all fits into the pot. Once that kale all gets a kind of darker green color to it, we're going to turn off the heat, and then add a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Not too much so it's not overbearing, just like a sprinkle over the bed of the kale. And then we'll add mint leaves, fresh mint leaves. This can be a pack from the store, or about 3 large stems is what I use from a mint plant that I have. And so once you add the mint and cinnamon, it's your opportunity to taste the kale. And I would recommend tasting it with the kale with some of the pepper that you've stirred into this mixture, and see how it tastes to you, because you may need a little more salt, a little more pepper, depending on your taste and preference. And so once you have it to your liking, I would go ahead and cover up that pot and set that aside because the aromas of all the things that you put in there, it's just going to mix together. The kale's going to continue to soften up, and so you're just going to get a nice mixture. While that's set aside, all we're going to do now is cook an egg. We're going to fry an egg, and you can fry the egg however you like it. You can fry it hard or medium. I like my eggs over easy. And for this recipe, I just use 1 egg. But if I'm a little extra hungry, some days I use 2. So feel free to add if you need to. And we cook the egg with salt and pepper. Pretty straightforward. And then once that egg is done, we just add the kale, put the kale on our plate and add the egg on top. And so we have our sweet pepper kale with egg on top. And I love this taste of this dish because the mint and the cinnamon and all of that gives it just like a sweet and savory taste mixed with once you mix it with the egg. And that mint is kind of a refreshing flavor at the end of each bite. But then you get that salt and everything in there too from the egg and the buttery taste from the pepper. So it's a really good dish to try. Let me know what you think, and we'll get back to the chatter.
All right, number 4.
Question.
Number 4.
Oh, number 4. Okay. So my friend and I have known each other forever. And one thing that's always bothered me is that she likes to subtly throw shade or put me down whenever we're in the company of men. I normally let it roll off my back to keep the peace, but I've been trying to figure out how to ask why she feels the need to do that, especially now that we're older and more mature. We otherwise get along really well. It's just this one thing that is just annoying and unnecessary to me.
Yes, it is definitely unnecessary, especially if this person is supposed to be your friend. See, a friend shouldn't throw shade at all unless you guys have this kind of jokey relationship where you're going back and forth. But at no time, Betty and I have been long-term friends. We don't throw shade on each other. We try to encourage, uplift, and support each other. So I guess my question for the one who's throwing the shade is, what's your motive? What's her motive for doing it? Is there a self-esteem thing that's going on that you guys haven't had a chance to talk about because she's too afraid? Is she jealous? Does she have an interest in these people, these young men, or that are in your midst, and she's trying to make sure she positions herself in such a way to keep you on the side? But at the end of the day, if we're friends, if we're sisters, we should be about uplifting and supporting each other, and not competing against each other. I think that's part of the reason why within our circles that women stop. We Black women do it really bad, but we size each other up, and it's not okay. We need to stop.
That's true. Yeah,
let's elevate and support versus tear people down. So I guess I would ask her, pull her aside and say, hey, are you aware that you kind of do A, B, and C when we're in the presence of guys? And I'm like, what is that about? You've been doing it for years. And at first I thought it was just like no big deal. We're just joking around. But, it's starting to bother me. And if she's your real friend, you should be able to come to her like a friend and say, hey, it bothers me when blah, 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 fill in the blank. Or, I'm kind of, I'm offended a little bit by da-da-da-da-da, and then see what happens.
Is it ever appropriate? Is it ever appropriate to take your earrings off and get some Vaseline and be ready to go at it? Is that appropriate?
Well, sis, I just want to remind you that the question said they were friends.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's how they solved their problem. What? I'm tired of you doing it. Right. We about to do this.
They friends, not frenemies.
Okay, let's talk about this though. What if you do have that friend, right? And so you confront her and she confesses and go, yeah, girl, I don't know, sometimes I'm just a little insecure and da-da-da. But then she keeps doing it because now she's confessed to you that this is what the reason is. And so it's like you should just understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
you do it. And I don't understand why you do it. I don't understand what's the motive behind it. So you have some insecurity. But why do you feel insecure with me? I'm your sister. I'm your friend. Bottom line. So, again, push back, but don't go to blows for it.
It's going to be some of these.
Because I want us to get to a place where we can be around each other, because when you do this, it makes it difficult for me to be around you in mixed company.
good. Wow.
You know, and I value our relationship to, you know, as such that you mean more to me than these other people. So let's work together to come to a healthy resolve that, you know, you don't have to do this.
It's good.
And if you're not feeling good about you, how can I support you?
Ooh,
It's good.
Oh my God. I know. I feel like I'm gonna
But we want to take some notes. Wait a minute
I
now.
was trying to find a pen because I was like, I don't have this problem yet, but let me.
I know.
In case I do.
Oh my gosh.
That was good.
That was really good. Wow.
Okay.
That is good.
That was
So this
good.
brings us to this then. So how do you know when you've actually outgrown your circle, and you're not being brand new and arrogant? So explain what they mean.
Oh, brand new. Okay. All right. So brand new means brand new is when people feel like you've gotten on another level, and now you're acting like you don't know them anymore.
I
Yeah,
see.
it's
Oh,
like-
okay. All right. So who's brand new? The person asking the question.
So like,
How do you know when you actually have outgrown your circle? Oh, and I see you're not just trying
you're
to
not
be
being
like,
brand new. Yeah, you're
Okay.
not. So people will say like, you know,
oh, I don't
you got
need
that
y'all
money
anymore.
now, so now you brand new. You act like
Okay.
you don't know us.
Okay,
or whatever.
okay.
So, yeah.
All
so
right, Coach.
2 lessons in this question. All right.
So I guess, you know, I would I'll always start with looking introspectively, right? What is it that I need in a relationship? Whether it's with my girls, whether it's with my mate, what is it that I'm looking for in this relationship? How does that benefit me? Why is it important to me, right? So as this person is assessing who's in her circle or in her inner circle, you know, what am I getting from this group? If she feels like she's at a place introspectively and she's not getting whatever that is that she needs, if it's love, if it's affirmation, if it's, you know, more intellectual conversation, whatever, there's nothing wrong with slightly pulling away and building new circles. Expand your reach, expand your scope, expand your horizons, expand your territory with friends. Because, you know, your friend circle, you know, your inner circle may only be so big, but then you have these layers to relationships. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not being arrogant. You know, that's not being brand new. That's just saying that you're at a place in your life where you need a little something more. Doesn't mean that you don't love these people you've done life with forever. It's just that these people can be the people that you still kick it with from time to time. But if there's something else that you need, then begin to do the work to build that new circle to get what you need in the relationships.
It's good. It's
Yeah, I
good.
like that.
Wow.
So then
Good.
and you know, because I'm one of those people, I don't like to just throw people away.
Yeah.
I like people come into our life for a reason and a season, you know, and they should not be thrown away. Because the time that they come into your life was definitely a divine appointed time. But, you know, that wherever you were at that time, you're not going to be that same person forever. You're going to grow. That's the nature of life. Well, you're supposed to grow. Some people do get stuck. But my point is, it's okay to have more than one circle to get what you need.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Yes. Okay.
This was so good. Do you have any final words you want to give to the Chat and Chew audience?
But first, I just want to say thank you both to the whole Chat and Chew Show team for allowing me to come in and share my 59 cents. I pray it was fruitful. And
Oh, for
helpful
sure.
to many.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just feel like relationships are, whether, like I said before, whether it's the workplace, your home, your school environment, wherever you are, they all have a common theme, right? We're all trying to figure out who I am in this relationship, what's most important to me, how does this motivate me to be a better person, whatever. You know, am I getting what I need out of the relationship? These questions you can ask yourself no matter if it's at home or away. So whenever you have a conflict, look inside first. Search yourself first before pointing the finger outward at that person did this to me. Because ultimately, if whatever they said or may have done, if how it impacts you determines what's going on the inside of you. So check yourself first before you wreck yourself.
Okay. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right, that's huge. Good. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time.
All right. Catch you next time. Like, share, and subscribe.
All right. Bye.
This show was brought to you by the Chat and Chew Company. Music by Elwood Jones. Lyrics by Roxanne. Bring a Chat and Chew live event to your organization. Contact us at chatandchewshow show@gmail.com.